with people that's liars, just like you. But the real folk that's covered by the blood, they know better. And that's why I enter into his gate. With thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Covered folk don't need the praise team. Covered folk don't need a choir. Covered folk don't need music. But covered folk, oh Lord, all they need is a remembrance. The word they used to tear the church up, and the preachers, we got good with it. We said, when I think of the goodness of Jesus, all I need is just to remember that he covered me when he should have left me alone. When I remember that he looked me up, all my faults, and covered me anyway. Watch this ain't for everybody. And since he covered me when I stepped from under the cover, but he loved me so much, he brought the cover with me. Have I got anybody that's glad he didn't leave you uncovered? That's why I get excited. I don't need nobody to pump me up. I appreciate the amens, but I'm so excited about my covering. Bishop, I'm gonna say this and I'm through. We need to quit getting upset with folk that won't let us cover. Because if they ain't covered by the blood, they're not gonna let you cover. If they won't accept the blood covering, y'all will get that next week when you get back home. If they won't accept the blood, the ultimate covering, they're not going to accept our covering. When I see the blood, I'm going to pass over you. I know you've been touching your neighbor all week, but will you just touch her one more time and say, I'm so glad I'm covered. That's what I was waiting on right there. You touched me, but I was just waiting on you to think about it. I'm so glad I'm covered. When I messed up last week, if I hadn't been covered, I would have been exposed. But God loved me so much that even in my faults, I'm only preaching to an honest church now. Even in my faults, because of his plans that he had for me. He just told me, Beeson, I could have exposed you, but I'm not going to expose you because I got some plans for you. If I expose you, folk won't look at you the same. I'm just waiting on some of y'all to think about what would have happened if he had uncovered you. If he had allowed the plague to come to your house after you got covered, what would have happened? But I'm so glad for the blood. He said, when I see the blood, I'll pass over you. And I'm through with this statement. He's still looking for the blood. He's passing over people now when he sees the blood that's been applied to your heart. When he sees the blood, he's passing over. He's still looking for the blood, just as he did in Exodus. He's looking for it now. He's passing over. When he sees the blood, I know everybody around me is in trouble, but the reason I'm not is because I'm covered. And the reason he didn't come to my house, not only am I covered in this house, My brick and mortar house is covered. Don't nobody live with my wife and I but my dog. But when I left to come to the convention, I left my dog at home. My son is going by to feed the dog, but my dog covered. Y'all get that next week too. When I got ready to pull out of my parking lot in the church to come to the convention, the driver stopped and I started praying. I said, Lord, cover everything we leave in. Everybody, everything. I see some of y'all real spiritual and real deep. And you don't want to talk about natural stuff, but you know, I don't want nothing to happen to my stuff I left back home. When I get back home, the only reason I want something to happen to what I got at home is because God getting ready to give me something bigger and better. But I covered it before I left. Not only am I covered, but everything that belongs to me because of who I am. How many know your children are covered because of you? I know the Old Testament talked about Job when he said, I want to offer sacrifices pre-adventure my children have sinned. So what he was saying, I'm going to go ahead and cover them now just in case they mess up. How many glad that you can cover your children? No plague shall come nigh thy dwelling. My dwelling, everything that's attached to me. See, I'm preaching as hard now as I was when I was hooping, but y'all missed it. Everything that's attached to me gotta be blessed. Everything that's covered by me must be. My children have to be blessed. My grandchildren have to be blessed. Bishop, watch what you're saying. Now be careful. Watch what you say. No, I don't have to be careful. I know what I'm saying. I'm saying what God said. Because a wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. I don't want to change the word, but can I just give you another way of looking at it? A covered man leaves a covering and an inheritance to his children's children. My children covered. When I'm gone, they covered. It ain't just about houses and land. I told one of my sons, and I promise Bishop Dixon I'm through with this. I told my son he left my church a while back, and he's a musician, and he wanted to kind of spread his wings and get a little experience with money. And he stayed out for probably 5 or 6 months. And the Lord began to deal with me, Apostle Nelson. And he told me, he said, don't mess with him, but give him this message. He said, tell your son that he's running around making money, but he's uncovered. And the money that he's making is not going to do him any good because he's not blessed like he should be blessed because he's uncovered. So I called him. And I told him, I said, son, I want to talk to you. And I told him what God said. And this is what he told me. That's why I know your children blessed, even when they mess it up. He said, Dad, I'm going to be honest with you. He said, I done already found it out. He said, I want to come back. He said, I done been going to all these churches and playing for all these people. He said, but I miss good preaching. That's what my son said about his dad. He should say that. He said, I miss good preaching. I miss playing at your church. I said, well, son, I'm not asking you to come back. I said, whatever the Lord tell you to do. I said, that's what you do. I said, I'm giving you the message. I said, there are blessings God's waiting on you, waiting to give you, but because you're not covered, you can't get them. He has his bachelor's degree in psychology, and he was in the school system, and he got out of the school system, and at that time he didn't have a job. He came back to my church, Apostle Kelly, and 2 weeks after he came back to my church, he went and applied for another job teaching. And the Lord spoke to me, Pastor Street, and he said, he got the job. And he said, when he called me, I said, how'd the interview go? I said, I'm talking about being covered. I said, how'd the interview go? He said, it went well. Well, watch what God does. Because of who my wife is in the